All right, what's up, guys? Do you want your photos to move people? Do you want to make people laugh and cry from looking at your photo and also make a difference? I have been searching for the answer of this question my whole life. What moves people? Turn out the answer is written in this book, Story by Robert Mckee. I'm going to share with you 5 things I love about this book. And also, I'm going to tell you how to apply some of the concepts in this book to photography. Even though this book is designed originally for people who want to write a novel or a screenplay for movies. I'm Tin Man Lee, a wildlife photographer who teaches photography, and currently I'm an invited judge for Nature Photographer of the Year and Bird Photographer of the Year. So make sure to stay until the end because number 4 is something that many people didn't know and I've always been wanting to talk about. So let's dive in. Number 1, Robert Mckee said, true character is revealed in the choices one makes under pressure. The greater the pressure, the deeper the revelation, the truer the choice to the character's essential nature. The only way we ever come to know characters in depth is through their choices under pressure. So what does he mean by that? So for example, if I'm dating a girl and we're going to movies and getting fine dining, of course it's gonna be good. But the true character of that person would only show, for example, when I am getting really sick or if I get into a car accident. I want to show you, this is a photo of a bison and a cowbird right before the tongue of the bison was gonna be in contact with the cowbird by accident. And this photo received quite a lot of response from the viewers. And here's a polar bear cub leaning to mother bear and sibling when they were sleeping in the remote Alaskan Arctic. And here, some mountain goat babies called mountain goat kids. They were deciding to jump around in the mountain 14,000 feet. And here, these 2 sister gray wolves, they were running towards a carcass in Yellowstone National Park, but because they had such a close bonding, so they decided to keep playing. So in photography, try to look for something that the animal is facing a situation where they have to make a choice, and usually those photos will be much more powerful. So number 2, Robert Mckee said, story equals mood plus emotion. So when I first started photography, all I was thinking about is trying to get action, right? Nailing the sharp photos. What I didn't realize is that it only covers the emotion part, but there is no mood. And if you're missing one of the 2, it's not gonna be a story. So for example, I kept on doing this dating and relationship. Obviously, I'm not very good at that, but imagine if I am proposing to a girl, but I'm proposing right next to a dumpster. Like dirty water is on the ground and it smells really bad. There are rats and cockroaches running all over. And I kneel down. Do you think the girl is gonna say yes? Chances are it's not gonna be as high as if I propose to the girl at the top of a mountain, right at sunset with all these golden lights shining onto some leaves flying over the sky. That is what it means by the mood. In order to tell a powerful story, you gotta have the mood and also the emotion. In terms of photography, the mood refers to, for example, the angle of the light, the quality of the light, and how do you do the composition, and those kind of things is the mood. So number 3, story values are the universal qualities of human experience that may shift from positive to negative or negative to positive from one moment to next. For example, love versus hate, fear versus loving, courage versus cowardice, strength versus weakness. So Robert Mckee said, without a change of values from the beginning to the end in photography, is before people see the photo to after they see the photo, if there is not a value change For example, some people assume that bears are very dangerous, very vicious, right? Like mother bear, you hope you don't run into them in the wilderness, right? But if you can show a photo of a bear mother showing the care to the cub, that is a value change for a lot of the people. What Robert Mckee said is for a story, if there is not this shift of completely reverse of the value, then it's a non-event for a story. And in photography, that is what I consider a non-photo. Number 4 is that a story should create meaning. And he has a term, I hope I pronounce it correctly, probably not because I suck in English. He said, don't try Deus ex machina. So he's giving an example, like when you're writing a story, you want the story to develop all the characters naturally. You don't want to be like if you are looking for someone missing, you don't want to go into a restaurant and then somebody random just come to you and give you the address of that person, right? That is what he called cheating. It's not really developing of a natural story. And he gave an example also, you guys all watched the Jurassic Park, right? And at the last scene, these people were being chased by this dinosaur, and you would think that there is no chance they can escape it, and then all of a sudden there's a T-Rex came out and then killed that dinosaur and saved them, and this is like this doesn't go naturally in the story. And in photography, I can think of things that people would cheat to get their photo. For example, baiting, what it means is people would manipulate the instinct of the animal by luring them with food so that what they are taking is not their natural behavior, but they manipulate that behavior in order to get the photo, like a wide angle shot, which is very impactful, but is really changing the behavior of the animal. And some people would replace the background of the photo. If the background is not ideal, they change it to like completely darkening the background to pure black, or they add something like a sunset with clouds and those. Robert Mckee said that this kind of storytelling is an insult because it's a lie. And I highly recommend you not to do it as a beginner, because a lot of the beginning photographers, they try to get the validation, get the likes, but they forget what is really important is the true meaning. And if you are cheating to get that photo, then it's meaningless. I believe that people celebrate wildlife photography because they believe the event actually happened in nature. So if people are cheating by baiting and changing all this background, adding fake light source into the photo, and it's completely meaningless. Number 5 is the craft. Robert Mckee said that talent alone doesn't work, because for talent without craft, it's like fuel without an engine. So time and again, I've heard some photographers told me that they don't need to learn photography. It is just natural, it's talents. They don't need to learn from any masters and study any books, because that is the feeling they're looking for. And Robert Mckee said some are dreading that awareness of how they do what they do would cripple their spontaneity, never study the craft. Instead, they march along in a lockstep of unconscious habits. Thinking is instinct. He said it's like a composer must excel in the principles of music composition. So you must master the corresponding principles of story composition. And later he gave a story of a millipede, a fable that his father used to tell him. And the story basically was saying that it is like a fairy tale, a millipede. They have like thousands of feet, and then they were walking in harmony. And one time a bird asked this millipede, so how do you coordinate? And then thinking about that, the millipede completely lost his footing, and then he fell down, and then he no longer could walk. So he had to start from the beginning, learning each feet, how they move, and then how to coordinate. And eventually he was able to walk again, but this time he was being able to walk much better than before, because he knows exactly how every component works, right? So I still remember many years ago, I had a very bad breakup, and I got really sad, and because of that sadness, it affected my health. And so my body just couldn't function for a while, and I was just so scared. So I read a lot of books. I have to go and learn meditation, I have to learn mindfulness, and I just have to practice a lot. I hired a physical therapist, these kind of things. Basically, I have to almost learn to walk again, kind of like that. But then eventually, after I learned all these components, the breathing, the meditation, and everything, things got much better than before. And so I was very thankful for those experiences. And I think in terms of photography is the same thing. As I tell a lot of my students, it's just very unfortunate if some people won an award or get some recognition in the beginning phase of their photography because they thought that they are very good, but in reality, they don't really know what are the components that make their photos good. Instead of just relying completely on the talents and the instincts, I would definitely suggest people to learn from some mentors, some teachers they admire, read more books about photography, and really start to learn from the basics in order to be successful. There are a lot of things that I haven't had a chance to cover in this book. For example, another concept is that it is very important to have subtext in your photos. But anyways, I highly recommend this book. I have read it like 50 times and I have the link below, so check it out and let me know if you like me to do more of this kind of book review because I love reading. And if you like this, you probably will like my another video, which is some techniques that I learned in the last few years. So hope you enjoy, and definitely remember to subscribe and leave your comment below, and I'll see you next time.